Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk with the Saw right here on Superlative Radio. This week, Dylan and I are going to talk about Star Trek Lower Decks and Captain Marvel. And he was going to get me to watch 12 Monkeys. I watched 25 minutes into the movie and went, I'm turning this off before I fall asleep.
I liked it. I think because it was, See, Marky G liked it. You're missing something.
It's not that. It's
perfect for today. You know, it was a pandemic.
Oh, I agree. It's definitely an appropriate movie for today. I did read the whole synopsis on the movie, and the fact that it just gets to the point where
it does get weird. In some places, with time travel and
it gets to the point where literally they say you can hardly tell the difference between him time traveling and jumping because it's anyway. So. Again, what did I tell you about movies that don't follow their own fucking logic that I can't stand?
What did I tell you about suspending your? Just watch it for what it is. Don't if you dissect too much.
It's got to hold my interest, man.
Yeah, but unless there's things blowing up and people fighting and I don't know,
it's got to have action and it's got to at least follow its own rules. For time travel movies, it's got to.
Yeah, 12 Monkeys. Yeah, Bruce Willis and. No, 12 Monkeys, and it's Bruce Willis and...
Brad Pitt.
No, yeah, but what's her name, the chick?
No, I have no idea.
Madeline, right, Madeline Stowe, thank you. She was hot back then.
Yeah. Well, you go back to... You go back to 1995, and there's a lot of...
Oh, wait.
You go back to 1995, and a lot of them were hot back then.
Even I was hot back then. Yeah.
Now, they all age like milk.
That's insinuating that she's not hot anymore, so it's a negative.
Oh, that's not...
yeah, well,
okay,
that's probably
she was hotter. Is that better?
No.
Okay, sure.
Hotter, because she was younger. Not. But I said the same thing about me. I was hotter back then, too. So
Don't
if I
worry
can say
about
it about her, I can say it about her.
Let's be realistic here. We all understand the logic that, younger women are generally more attractive than older women. I mean, that's just it's same with men. Generally, younger men are more attractive than older men. There's a reason why people are made to do their business with getting married and having kids in their 20s. It's because that's when people are generally, Although I will say it's a cruel play
irony?
on nature that men hit their sexual peak at 20 and women hit it at 45.
Men hit it at 18.
Well, yeah, 20.
Don't even know what you're doing.
But
okay, so like I said, it's just one of those things where...
So I did read it. I mean, I do know that he goes back in time to try to stop a pandemic. And, generally I like Bruce Willis, but it was just... The pacing was just...
Okay. Well, I liked the movie. I watched it end to end, and I thought it was, because it was very relevant for what was going on. And and I'd watched it at the time it came out and thought it was decent and thought it was, And I kind of give it that, but that's why I told you to watch it. I thought maybe you could suspend enough, but I guess next time I'll just have to get you to watch, I don't know, World War II in color or some fucking thing.
It's not. Well, anyway, like you said, it's relevant. Yes, I agree. It was relevant to today. The problem is they just
don't keep your attention.
They don't keep my attention. It's not all about action or whatever. It's just, it's a time travel movie. It should have some action. It's science fiction.
Well, they put him back to World War I, got a bullet in his leg that they couldn't explain and do that. Anyway.
I know, but it reminds me of Blade Runner. There's another movie that I fucking can't stand. Yeah, I know, I swore, but it's the truth.
I enjoyed Blade Runner. Sorry.
See, but Blade Runner, again, is one of those movies with little to no action to keep you enthralled.
It's the story that keeps you.
It's hell.
No, the story is what builds. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all where. Doesn't
really.
Matter.
What about what's that friggin' one with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Oh yeah. Okay, Johnny Mnemonic. Yeah, I saw
Mnemonic.
that. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that was in Montreal. Okay.
Yeah. What about that one? What do you think of that one? See, again, that's another movie that people talk about when they talk about cyberpunkish and time, and all this other stuff. It's not a time travel movie, but but I found it boring, and I know what it's based on.
Yeah.
And I still found it boring.
Okay, well,
But it's like what about The Fifth Element? Did you like
Enjoyed
The Fifth
that too?
See, I didn't like The Fifth Element either.
okay.
And that has Bruce Willis,
Bruce Willis and
and
what's her name? The chick there. Yeah.
yeah, I don't remember her name, but what's his face, who was opposite Jackie Chan in the Rush Hour movies, was in it.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was in there too. Wasn't
Chris
he?
Tucker.
Chris Tucker. Yeah.
Yeah. But see, there's another one that I don't
It was a while ago, but I
see.
enjoyed
I
it.
think with science fiction, I think the thing with science fiction movies is they're like what's a good way to put it? They're either really good or they're, in my opinion, they're really terrible. There's no mediocre. There's no run of the mill medium. Like they're
Okay.
either good or they're crap. It's just
It's not. It's just how you do it. I guess I don't know. It's just I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. So I just thought I'd throw it out there for you to watch. And I guess
and you know what? I probably will give it another go at some point because it's not like it's completely out of the realm that I would. But it's just when I read the synopsis before I watched it, and I was like, "Oh my god, okay." So it jumps around a lot. I'm like, "Okay, all right." So maybe, but then I started, and I was like, "Oh my god!" It was just taking too long to get to anything.
I've had movies like that where it takes
Like-
so long to get into it that I lose
Like 25
interest.
minutes into it, and he was still stuck in a psychiatric ward.
Yeah, but
You know, talking to Brad Pitt, who's a complete loon. And,
yeah,
you know,
he did that so well.
He did do that very well. I will admit, they both acted their parts very well.
He did play the psycho quite well.
But that's what I mean. Like,
The Army of the 12 Monkeys. I thought
it
that
was just,
pretty
yeah,
funny.
like it was
But
just.
anyway. So
But it's like another one. It's like, have you ever seen I Am Legend with Will Smith?
yeah, of course. But I saw the original with Charlton Heston,
Okay.
Omega Man, 1971. That's what that was based on. And that was, again, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
See, I thought with I Am Legend, I was like, that's another really like kind of almost like a pandemic style
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
And,
Everybody dies except certain.
Well,
but-
they all get turned into
Yeah.
like vampires or whatever it is, like night
Well,
creatures or whatever.
I watched the
But-
original. I preferred the original. I didn't like the Will Smith one. The
Well,
remake.
the Will Smith one also changed. They also changed from the novel, eh? Like
Yeah.
it
Well, you
also
see, I
changed.
watched the.
Because
as I
the
said-
girl that comes to find him, or that finds
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
in the novelization, like in the novel I Am Legend, she's actually one of the Night Stalkers or whatever they are,
Right,
the night
right, yeah,
creatures.
yeah.
That's what she is.
But if you want to watch,
But-
go back to 71 and watch Omega Man. That's the one that I remember watching first. And I enjoyed that. So, not that I'm a Charlton Heston fan, but, it was the movie itself again.
Well,
you
back
know.
back in that.
Oh, I
day
know
and
he
age,
was big at the time. I understand.
Now, okay, all right. So that said, there is. I did hear a rumor that Buck Rogers is coming back.
You mean like wiggy wiggy wiggy? Hello,
Well,
Buck.
I don't know if they'll have Twiggy in it or whatever, but yeah, Buck Rogers is supposed to be coming back. They're supposed to be doing an updated.
What about Duck Dodgers? They're going to bring that back
an
too.
updated
Duck
movie,
Dodgers in the
maybe even a
24th and a
series?
half century. How many people are going to catch that
Yeah.
reference? I'd wonder, but
What do you think of that, Buck Rogers?
why not? I remember the TV series.
I know. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they do Buck Rogers, how they do it.
Why not? They're bringing
that
everything
was
else
that
back.
was a pretty popular show for a little while in
Yeah.
its day.
Why
Just
not?
like
They're bringing everything else back,
Battlestar,
right?
just like Battlestar Galactica. They brought that back and it did well.
Yeah. So who knows? Well, give it a shot. What do you got to lose? Maybe
Yeah,
it'll
I
catch on.
suppose. Okay, so you watched Captain Marvel with Denise.
I
didn't
did.
ya?
Yeah, I did.
What did Denise think of it?
She enjoys those.
Yeah.
Yeah, she enjoys those movies.
So she
Very much so.
So she liked it.
She was very much into it.
Yeah.
And,
So now was she glad to see a female lead as a superhero for once?
She made no comment that way.
Because
or
like
what-
there's
you know,
only really her and Wonder Woman that
Yeah.
have ever really had their own movies,
no,
right?
but she never made any comment
No?
like that about it or whatever. Just watched it for what it was. And,
Yeah.
it was a good movie. It was a good story. I mean, it was to give you the beginning of how it came to be.
I find it pretty funny that a lot of people online, since that movie has come out, have given it have given it a lot of flack because they don't like Brie Larson.
I think she did a great job.
But I thought she was fine in it. I'm not. I don't understand the hate. Like you can dislike someone in real life and dislike their politics or whatever and all that crap if you want, but judge the work for the work.
That's
You know?
exactly right.
Like we said that about Bill Cosby and everybody else that's
Kevin Spacey and all the shit
Michael
going on.
Jackson,
Yeah.
all these people that have been accused of things or actually did things or are accused of being assholes or whatever. It's like, people say that about William Shatner, how he's like an asshole in person or whatever. Well, okay. What somebody is like in real life, okay, you can judge you can dislike them for their real life or their real comments or whatever
Yep.
but then when it comes to
Their
their
art.
work
Yeah.
and the art that they do, judge that separately. Judge that for what it is. Like, don't just go, well, I think, in real life, William Shatner's a dickhead, so I'm not going to
But
blah,
people
blah, blah,
can't.
blah, blah.
People can't do that.
But do you like Captain Kirk?
Pardon me?
Like, if you like Captain Kirk, then you like Captain Kirk. It's got, that's not William Shatner. That's Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing. Like, I don't have a problem with Captain Marvel in the MCU. A lot of people are like, oh, she's this and she's that and she's blah, blah, blah. I thought Brie Larson did a great job playing the part.
So did I.
Obviously, anybody who has a problem with the way Brie Larson played Captain Marvel has obviously never read a Captain Marvel comic book, because in the comics, in her own books or in the Avengers that she's in, she's an asshole in the comics, more so than Tony, and he's a dickhead in the comics.
Okay.
So
I've
mean,
never read them, so here, just
well,
throw it over.
it's just that's the whole thing, right? It's like,
See, you've read the comics,
Well,
you know
yeah, I
the
mean, like-
backstories and all that. I don't. I just watch them for what they are.
Exactly, and if you watch it for what it is and judge it based on what it is, like, well, I don't have a problem with her. I like the character. Just I like Iron Man in the movies too. In the comics, can't stand him.
Yeah. But you differentiate.
But you have to You have
Yeah.
to. You
Yeah.
can't.
That's right.
They're building movies to appeal to a wider range of people than just comic book people, because otherwise, people can
Well, you're
say,
limiting your audience if you just
well,
stick
people
to.
will say, it doesn't follow the books, it doesn't follow this, it doesn't follow that. Yes, okay. There are some things in which, when it comes to comic book movies, that I can understand the gripes, like, well, their costumes all look messed up and they don't look like they do in the comics or whatever, because that was a big complaint about the X-Men movies, because they all wore black, right? And in the X-Men comics, they all have colorful outfits like they do in the Marvel universe, like Captain America, Thor, Iron Man. They all have colorful outfits, right?
Yeah.
And so
Well,
I
even
can,
in that movie, she changed her outfit
oh
to
yeah,
make it more
but I mean, I
colorful,
can
so-
understand that gripe. It's like, okay, well, you can still make the movie and have it make it appeal to a wide range of audiences, but to say, well, we couldn't do the comic book costumes because they look too ridiculous. Well, really? I mean, like, and Spider-Man's costume didn't look any less ridiculous, and it was released around the same time as X-Men was. Or Fantastic Four, again, another one that was released around the same, like all these, like their costumes look goofy, they're comic book costumes, but so that gripe I can understand. But when people say, well, the character is so vastly different than the comics, well, to be honest, if the characters were portrayed a lot like they are in the comic books, a lot of people wouldn't like the movies.
Or
people-
only the true fans, maybe.
Exactly. Because
And then you've limited your audience.
That's right,
If you
and
can
you
make
got-
a wider appeal.
that's right. And that's all they're doing is
Well,
they're
it's
trying
the
to make
same
it
thing
appeal
that
to
I said. In a way, what you're saying is the same thing I said about country music with, bringing rock into country music and bringing hip hop into music. I may not enjoy what it's doing, but they're trying to bring it to a broader audience, and that may bring people in to go, that's not bad. Maybe I should check out,
Yeah,
or maybe I
exactly.
should.
And that's
so
the
that's
thing.
the way I'm looking at it. Okay, I don't particularly like what it's doing, but they're trying to bring it to a wider audience.
Right.
They're trying to bring more people
And
into
that-
it. So
and
that
that's
I
the
go,
thing.
yeah, okay, I can understand that.
Like, they made it so that, like, when you watch Captain America Civil War, they made it so that you can see Tony's side and you can see Steve's side. So you can either side with Iron Man or side with Captain America, or realize that both have good points and both have reasons for what they're doing. But when you read the comic books and you read the original Civil War comic that movie is based on, then you come to understand that Tony was 100% in the wrong in the comic book. 100%. And Captain America was right, because Captain America was standing up for people's individual freedoms and everything, which is what the U.S. is supposed to stand for, and everything
I'm glad
else
you
or
said
whatever.
supposed to. Thank you.
Okay. And, you know, like I can remember when Civil War came out, Joe Quesada, who was the editor-in-chief, or maybe he still is at Marvel, I don't remember if he is or not, he said, now this is a guy who went from being a comic book artist to editor-in-chief at Marvel Studios, so that right there should tell you what kind of qualifications this turd has. He said he couldn't figure out for the life of him why everybody thought Iron Man was wrong. Well, Iron Man was wrong because he was on the side of government enforcement and making people give up their secret identities and making people register and making people do this and making people do that. He was blatantly wrong in a country that's supposed to, and I say supposed to because, you know, they really aren't free, but they're supposed to value this wonderful freedom that they supposedly have that nowhere else in the world does, but yet every other country in the world, including the communist ones, are more free than they are.
Well, George Carlin said it.
You
it's
know?
called the American dream because you have to be asleep to understand
Exactly.
to do it.
You know, and they don't get it, but Captain America was on that side of it.
Yeah.
That side of freedom. No, I shouldn't have to give up my name to the government or do whatever because the government, fuck that. And that was his opinion on it. And he was on the right side. And almost everybody that was a comic book fan sided with Captain America. And anyway, of course, Joe Quesada, head of Marvel at the time, couldn't friggin' for the life of him figure out why. Because he's an idiot. And it's like, well, you know, when you start getting into the point where the government is stepping into your lives and forcing you to do everything they want you to do, what is that? That's a dictatorship.
That's right. That's what it is.
It's not even communism. It's not even fascism. It's a dictatorship. So when the government sits there and starts telling you, oh, you have superpowers? You have to register with the government, or if you use them, we'll throw you in jail forever.
Yep.
Okay, well, how about you go screw yourself?
Yeah.
Like,
Twice.
I've got superpowers. Try and stop me. You know, all you're going to do is create more people who are going to go against the grain than you're going to have people that go with it. You know, the minute you start forcing things on people, it's anyway. And
Welcome to the world.
in the process of Civil War, okay, where Spider-Man was initially on Tony's side, and he had to out himself as Peter Parker and whatever. Anyway, totally ruined his life. And then he sided with Captain America because he switched sides after a while, because he realized that Tony was wrong. And I mean, Spider-Man is their other poster boy for Marvel. You know, they've got Captain America, who's their wonderful Boy Scout guy. And then they've got Spider-Man, who's their like all-time most popular character ever. And who does he side with? Captain America eventually, because he realizes Iron Man's wrong. Well, you know, so I get that when they make these movies, they want to make... If they made Iron Man the way he is in the comics, people would have hated him. People would have hated Iron Man. They never would have liked him. So they have to make it so that... And they had to make it so that even when they did Civil War, that you still liked Iron Man and you still liked Captain America, even though they were on opposite sides.
They had to water it down to make it more appealing across the board.
You know, and the way they did that, I thought, in the movies made a lot of sense, because I could see Captain America's side with, no, I still think that, you know, we should be on our own and doing our own thing because we can do things when we need to. And I can see Iron Man's side of it where he was saying, yes, but if we do if we do it this way with them right now, we're just protecting ourselves so that later on they just don't come in and get rid of us altogether. Like, they both had valid points and why they, you know, like, and it made sense. So again, when it comes to Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, I think there's a lot of hate for Brie Larson. Well, you can hate Brie Larson all you want, but she doesn't do a bad portrayal of Captain Marvel. She certainly does a better job of her than she's written in the comic book. I don't know anything about her
personally, like what her personal life is or what she's, you know, I don't know anything
Google
about
it,
her.
you'll find out. You probably wouldn't like it. I don't like her as a person really either, but again, it doesn't matter. Does she portray the character well? Yes.
Yeah.
Did she do a good job in the movie?
Personally,
yes.
But, you know.
That's all that needs. That's all that matters, and that's all that should matter. That's her job. Her job is to do her job properly.
Yeah,
Did she do it right? Yes. She made a character that was far more interesting and not as bitchy or nasty as she is in the books. And
Yep.
if you don't believe me, go ahead and read an Avengers book out there. If you've never read one, go back and read the way Captain Marvel is. I mean, she's responsible for killing Tony at one point, or I think it's Tony she killed. Anyway, like, she's not a nice person in the comics. At least in the movie, she's on the right side.
Okay. But anyway, I enjoyed it overall. And as I said to you before we started this, I said it sort of showed also, like for me, where the Tesseract came from. Yeah.
It's what gave her powers, and
It was from the ship, the whole,
well, yeah,
Marvel.
that's what Marvel was using it for.
Yeah.
Was as a power source, but it I mean, it was, but I mean, again, it showed you the backstory with the Skrulls and Nick Fury and Coulson and how they came to be,
what they
were later.
And how he got his eye.
Yep.
Stupid cat. That was so funny.
I know.
That was
See,
a weird
people
one.
were pissed about that because they were like, well, in one of the movies, he says, last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye. Well, he didn't lie.
No.
He was trusting the cat by holding it up to his face, and it clawed his eye out.
Yeah.
Like,
It was funny.
Wasn't that he lied? He just
Yeah. Just there you go.
twisted it. But
once bitten, twice shy kind of thing.
yeah. But I mean, otherwise, I thought it was a pretty okay.
But overall,
movie.
yeah, it was
Explained why she wasn't around.
Yeah.
It did a lot of things that
Gave you the backstory.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not opposed to that. I thought it was, again, I think you should judge people on the work they do and not. I mean, otherwise I'd hate Marina Sirtis too.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, because her personal politics are
freaking.
she's an ultra liberal whack job.
Yeah.
But I like Counselor Troy.
So there you go.
Does she do a good job as Counselor Troy? Yep. Am I going to fault her for it? Nope.
No. Okay. So there we go.
That's that.
We'll have to pick some more at some other point and go with those route.
Anyway, Star Trek Lower Decks. So episode 9 was the purple-haired guy, Boimler. He was trying to kiss ass to the captain. Basically, he was like trying to get a promotion. So he was trying to figure out what the captain liked or whatever, and all the stuff he was trying to basically, be a brown noser. And so he created this program so that he could get in, that had everybody on the ship. It had like all their personal logs and everything or whatever, and it was designed to create as real a simulation as possible so that he could interact with the members of the crew and find out what the captain liked and didn't like and whatever, so he could kiss up to her properly.
Right.
But without doing it in real life, so he did it all in the holodeck. Okay, so Beckett, the captain's daughter, the black girl, she goes in with him and finds out that he's got this program or whatever, and she changes it, and they do it all like a Star Trek movie.
Okay.
So they actually like have credits and stuff and all that. You remember how dog. Whew. Yes, he did.
I don't smell it.
Good God. Anyway.
You must have aimed it right at him.
Yeah. You remember how at the end of Undiscovered Country, because it was the last movie that the originals did, when it said at the end it said starring, William Shatner, and then it wrote William Shatner, his signature.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Well, they did that.
Oh,
like
Jesus.
they did that with
Okay.
the credits and everything. It was they had a movie within the TV show. It was messed up. Anyway,
Okay.
it was really funny.
Well, put it away because we didn't think we're gonna.
So that was that one. It was pretty funny. And then of course the last episode, which was episode 10, was the ship got a distress call from another ship that looked like the Cerritos. It was, I forget what the name of it was, but it was the exact same kind of ship, a California ship. And it got attacked by Pakleds, which, if you remember from Next Generation, were the retard guys.
Yeah.
And I don't care if that word's not politically correct. Go fuck yourselves. Anyway.
Just saying.
Yeah, exactly. They were the ones that, oh, you can make us go.
Yeah.
You know, they were the really dumb guys.
Yeah.
Well, they got attacked by one of them, and it blew up their ship. It blew up the ship and killed everybody or whatever. And so, of course, the Cerritos came to the distress call. Now, at the very beginning of the episode, they mentioned that the Titan, which is William Riker's ship, is in the same sector or whatever, something like that. So, but they just kind of throw it as a throwaway line, right? And then, so of course, they go and to investigate or whatever, and then they get attacked by these Pakleds or whatever, and they're in the process of getting their ass handed to them by the Pakleds. And then out of nowhere, in comes a Titan to save the day with Next Generation music playing, and you know, and
so they brought
Captain Riker and Deanna Troi are there on the because this show. Lower Decks takes place 1 year after Star Trek Nemesis. And at the end of Star Trek Nemesis, as we all know, Riker and Troi went to the Titan because William accepted it as a promotion. So anyway, so they come in to save the day or whatever, and the Pakleds are like, oh no, it's another Enterprise.
Yeah.
Because that's all they call all the ships is Enterprise, right? And, you know, so Riker comes in, he's blowing the hell out of them, and, you know, again, the Pakleds are like, oh, make us go, we gotta go, make us go.
Yeah.
Like, and they, anyway, so, but I showed you that part.
That's right. It was nice to see that.
And then, of course, at the very end, Boimler, the purple-haired ensign, he gets promoted to a junior grade lieutenant and promoted off to the Titan. So apparently the Titan's going to make many more appearances in the next season. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, it's funny. I watched a review of that episode the other day, or well, the whole season, I should say, by another YouTube channel, a fellow called Steve Shives. I've mentioned him before. He did a review on it, and he's like, is anybody else out there? How do you say it? Was anybody else out there thinking, when am I going to get my animated Titan series? Because, like, that's what people would probably rather watch, because it would be great to have Riker and Troi as, you know.
Okay. Well, that's slowly a way to bring it in then.
Well, because technically, you go by the novels, right? Because I read the first few novels that they made of the Titan years ago when that first became a ship. Wesley Crusher serves on the Titan. Okay.
Right.
Troi is on the Titan. Riker's on the Titan. Tuvok is
Really?
their chief
Okay.
of security.
Okay.
Tuvok takes a position on there. And I'm trying to remember who else. There's some other Next Generation era characters that end up on that show from, like,
Interesting. So
I don't think any Deep Space Nine characters do, because they do something different with all the Deep Space Nine characters, but some of the Voyager characters make their way to the Titan as well with the Enterprise crew.
So maybe that's how they'll bring that in there.
So I thought it would be I agree. I'd love to see a Titan show, and even an animated one, because I think it would be great.
Yeah. So
because then you don't got to worry about what they look like in real life and how old they are. They can still do the voices.
They can still do
forever,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think that'd be great. It would be, to me, that would have been a way to do any of the Next Generation era characters and have them appear in Star Trek again. Would do them in animated form, because then they can just voice the character.
That's right. You just don't have to worry about
You don't have to
makeup
worry about the fact that they're ancient. I mean, they could have Data come back, right? And Data could be Data.
Yeah.
You know, and
It's true.
like, I think that would be great. There's
The owner of Facebook.
huh?
The owner of Facebook. We can get.
They have another Star Trek series, another animated one, coming on Nickelodeon called Prodigy, and Janeway's going to be in that one.
Okay. So we're making our way back around again.
So that one's going to suck because it has Janeway in it. As we all know, Janeway's the worst captain. I mean, the worst captain. In fact, every captain that ever appears in Star Trek is better than her. Even ones that only appear for one episode. That's how bad Janeway is.
So you're a fan.
Fuck, I hate Janeway. Can't stand Janeway.
Really? I hadn't noticed that.
I certainly hope that if they do it, though, they finally give us the reason why they have what's called the Janeway Protocol from Lower Decks
That's
when
right,
everything goes to hell.
That's right. Maybe it'll...
Activate
maybe.
the Janeway Protocol and everything goes to hell. I hope
Maybe
they
that's
do
what
that.
they'll do. Who
I hope
knows?
so. God. Anyway. So I did enjoy the last 2 episodes of Lower Decks.
And you said there's going to be another season. So
Well, apparently they've got. Apparently, there's going to be another season. At least, I'm guessing. I don't know if there will be. They talked about it. They talked about some of the things they want to do. I guess the season is already animated. It's already been animated. They just
Okay.
have to have the actors come in and voice their characters. So more
then
than likely,
that's-
we will see the second season.
okay.
Whether it gets more than that, I don't know. Because as we all know, there's rumors that we're not going to get any more Picard, which I picked up on Blu-ray, by the way.
Okay.
And it has.
So they're saying that they're not going to do a second season.
Well, they didn't say they didn't say. There's just no word that they are. And Discovery season 3 supposedly just starts today or last night or whatever.
Yeah,
so
you were
I'll have to
saying
find
that.
and watch that. But like, I don't know.
Well, it's coming. Well, I think I've got it programmed on the TV for next week.
Okay, well I'll have to do that too. But anyway, so that was. So
I'll be watching that anyway.
So again, I'm like Steve. If you're watching by chance, buddy, I'm with you. I'd like to see a Titan animated series. I think it would be great. I think there's part of the appeal of Star Trek is that they're losing opportunities that they could have continued, I think.
Speaking of Steve, he wants to come in on Zoom.
Yes,
and
I know.
chat
I
with
know
you.
that.
We were talking about that on the when you had left the other day.
I'm talking about Steve Shives, the guy I was talking about earlier.
Steve Shive. Oh, I thought you were talking about Steve.
No.
Steve.
Anyway.
But yeah, the other one. Yeah, well, maybe it'll work. Who
Oh,
knows?
they'll never do it. But
Hey.
you know, because Star Trek's in a bit of a.
Flux.
I don't think it's ever going to get anywhere. But anyway,
Time will tell.
so. Anywho,
So there you go. So I guess next
so-
one we'll be talking about. Next
So
week
for
will
next
be-
week, you said you're going to be watching Spider-Man: Homecoming and Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yeah, gonna watch
Denise
those
wants
two.
to see those. So
Denise wants to watch those, so we'll watch
So
those.
you'll like those. Just keep in mind again that there's like 4 years different or 2 years difference between them, right? Like
Right.
Between the movies, because Homecoming happens after Civil War and right before Infinity War.
Okay.
Okay, or not right before, but before Infinity War, and then
The other one
Far
happens
From Home
after.
happens
right.
after
Endgame.
Endgame, after Tony has died, because it's Spider-Man dealing with the
Right.
the
Okay.
loss of Tony.
Have to remember
once.
that. Okay.
So when you watch them, I mean, they're you got to remember there's like 4 or 5 movies that happen in between them. So.
Right.
But yeah, so we'll talk about those with you next week.
Okay.
And
I'll figure what I'm going to get you to watch for the thing. Plus, we'll also be talking about Discovery as well.
we will
so.
be talking about Star Trek Discovery. Yes, the first episode
Yep.
next week, because that will air, which is good.
Yep.
And
Finally.
in 2 weeks, 15 days, because it's October the 30th. In 15 days, Mandalorian season 2 starts. So.
Looking forward to
And
that.
the rumor is they're going to film season 3 and 4 back to back on in a secluded area where everybody is going to be quarantined for 2 weeks before they go there. And then once they get there, it's going to be filmed on an old army base or something, and they're
Okay.
not going to be allowed to leave until both seasons are shot.
Okay. That's
Well,
good
not
at
not
least.
until both seasons are shot, but until like if you're an actor on the show and you appear in say 7 episodes, when your content is all shot, then you'll be allowed to leave and you won't be allowed back. And that's what they're going to do, I guess, with Mandalorian. So, but they're going to do seasons 3 and 4 that way. So,
Good. Perfect.
So we know we're getting a couple more seasons of that.
Excellent. I can't wait for that.
WandaVision supposedly starts airing December 20th on Disney Plus.
okay.
So hopefully that'll be good too. But anyway, so yeah, we've got
Good.
Discovery. We'll have a couple of episodes where we talk about Discovery, and then we'll be into the Mandalorian and Discovery to talk about. So
Yeah. So
that'll be
that's good. That'll
anyway,
keep us back to where we need to be.
yeah. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. Stay tuned right here to Superlative Radio. Don't forget to check out our other stuff. We've got a new season of Jersey Ham coming later this year. We'll let you know a little bit more about that when we do. But in the meantime, check out our vlogs. Check out what we do have for the Jersey Ham going up. We've got some great little promos going up every
Yep.
week just to keep things flowing, and should be funny. There's one for season 2, which should be up. Mark, will it be up this week? Yep, our season 2 promo will be up this week.
Okay. Marky G.
Marky G saying fingers crossed, but yeah. So, but I'm sure it will. He's pretty good. And you'll get to see that. So I'll give you a little hint of what we're going to do with season 2. And so if you do see it, we'd like to know what you think when you do. So make sure you comment on it. And I can't think of anything else, but otherwise, yeah.
Also coming next year,
What?
Marky G's going to do a couple of vlogs.
Awesome.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, you said that the other day. You said you wanted to do so.
Say it on live on TV.
Well, I'm telling him it's coming. So Marky G's going to do a couple of vlogs.
Next show. Well,
So
whatever. Okay. Well, anyway, stuff to look forward to, everybody. We'll keep you guys tuned.
You won't only hear his voice; you're going to get to see his ugly mug.
Yeah, check out our. It's not as bad as his, and not as good as mine. So.
Thanks for not disappointing me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyway, don't forget to check out our podcasts on Superlative Radio.
Yeah, they're not doing bad. We got some great
Yeah,
audience
you
people
can
listening.
you can check out our podcast there, and you can find them wherever your favorite podcasts are listening.
Yeah, we're on all kinds of streaming sites.
The Dylan Stone Show, Exit Country, and the 0 Hour. So check them out.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we
Spotify
will see
and
you
Apple
guys
and everywhere.
Yep.
Check
we'll
them
see you
out.
guys next week for another episode. Take care. Have a great day.
Have a good one. Take care. And
Pongo says goodbye because he's been gassing the joint up.
yeah, that's right. So take care. We'll see you guys next week.